Good afternoon. So, at the daily meditation recite, look at the beginning, enthused by great compassion, right? Then second line they say, you taught the immediate Dharma, that dispel the perverted view. It's so important. You must know three things. The first line, a great compassion, it tells us the motivation of the Buddha Shakyamuni. So he has a great compassion to all sentient beings. So even though he have a great compassion, but he cannot, free all sentient beings from suffering in samsara, very simple way. Then how he can, he could liberate all sentient beings from samsara and suffering. Then second line, you taught the immaculate Dharma, right? That means as a Buddhist, there's a Buddha. Buddha is very compassionate. He wish all sentient beings always be happy. In order to be happy, all sentient beings must remove the causes and condition of the sufferings and samsara. How? Then second, he really taught, the pure, the real, teaching how to achieve Buddhahood, how to remove, how to get rid of all the sufferings and causes of sufferings. Then the third line, dispel. In order to remove the suffering, in order to free from suffering, you need to dispel, right? You need to clear, you need to purify it, the wrong view, the perverted view. That means the first line, it tells us the motivation of the Buddha. The second line tells us how we must achieve Buddhahood through practice of Dharma. When you practice the Dharma, then you are able to dispel the wrong views. Then how we can dispel the perverted view? Because independent origination. There's no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence. That means in order to dispel the wrong view, you must know the dependent origination. Once you know the dependent origination, then you will know there's not, such as we can say cessation and arising. Everything is dependently ceasing, dependently arising. Then the next, we have a refuge and generating bodhicitta. So in order to know the dependent origination, you need to rely on the Buddha as a teacher. Then I go for refuge. How long? Just one day, 1 month, or few months or few years? No. Until I am enlightened, until I am become a Buddha, I will take Buddha as a refuge, as my teacher. Then second, look at Dharma, then Sangha. So in order to become a Buddha, in order to fully freed from suffering, you really need to rely on Buddha as a teacher, rely on the Dharma as a real protector, rely on the Sangha like a study partner or study partner, then it is not just enough to just take refuge into Buddha, just practice Dharma, Sangha. Also, by my accumulations of two types of accumulations, two types of merits. Not only enough, accumulation merit is not just enough to achieve Buddhahood, because you need to practice. Practice what? Giving and so forth. 6 paramitas, 6 prajnana paramitas. So, take refuge into Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Realize the right view and accumulate 2 types of merits and continuously practice the 6 prajnana paramitas. Then you will become a Buddha. Why you want to be Buddha? Why you want to become a Buddha? Because benefit all sentient beings. We should not think, I want to be Buddha, I wish to become a Buddha because I want to be more happy. No. You want to be Buddha because you want to give a lot of benefit. Not just one person, not just one sentient being, for all sentient beings. That means whenever we chant, we do chanting, recitation, whatever, we must know those are very important. Taking refuge, accumulations, then practice. But most of us, everybody, since we have an interest in Buddhism, since we believe ourselves, I'm a Buddhist, then all our time, energy, we spend merely only 2 things. One, we always try to accumulate merit. Also, we try to purify negative karmas. But we never try to realize the right view. We never try to generate bodhicitta. We never try to practice 6 prajnana paramitas. Therefore, we spend long time, many years with the Dharma, but our practice, not really, we cannot see, increase. Instead of increase, we can see our practice is decrease. Right? Because we always play with the 2 important things, accumulating and purifying. Accumulating and purifying. Today we purify, tomorrow also we accumulate negative karma. That we cannot have a lot of progress. Since, you have been attending the Lamrim class, or TBC, or ABC, or Pure Land, BW, wherever you attend Lamrim class, Dharma class, should not just stay with the practice of accumulating and purifying. Do more. How? That means put a lot of effort. Spend a lot of time. Number 1, try to realize the right view, which is emptiness. Then, not just enough realize emptiness, also try to generate great compassion. If you're able to practice great compassion, then next bodhicitta is right there. Very easy to accomplish bodhicitta. If you have a great compassion, bodhicitta is there. If you're able to realize emptiness, then cessation of ignorance, cessation of samsara is there. Without realize emptiness, if you wish to free from suffering, if you wish to achieve cessation, is very, very far. It's become, it very far. Therefore, there are so many practices. Among the practices, most important, try to realize emptiness. Practice great compassion. Before practice bodhicitta, practice great compassion. Then bodhicitta is next to great compassion. Then, in order to practice bodhicitta, then you must know first great compassion. In order to practice great compassion, you must practice the great love. Love towards all sentient beings. Before practice the great love towards all sentient beings, you must practice equanimity towards your friends, your dear one, or your disliked person, or your enemy. So someone is your friends, one of your best friend, your dear one, right? You say, you are my best friend, you are my dear one. I can give my life for you, right? I can give my life for you. He or she is your best friend, maybe only few months or few years, the longer one, only one lifetime. Also enemy, right? Enemy, someone became your enemy. He or she is become your enemy for few months, few years, maybe one lifetime. In the previous life, your enemy may be one of your best friend. Right? That means if you think this way, then for you very easy to have a sense of equanimity towards your dear one and your enemy. When you have a sense of equanimity, then you don't have a really sense of hatred towards your enemy. You don't have a sense of attachment, clinging towards your dear one. Then you can see attachment become more weaker. Anger also become more weaker. Otherwise, you never have a sense of equanimity. Still you think, I want to reduce my attachment. Yes, you can reduce, certain amount of attachment, but you cannot reduce all attachment because you still have someone your favorite. Also, you try to, reduce anger. Yes, you can reduce anger, certain amount of anger, but you cannot reduce all angers because someone become your infavorite. So therefore, we try to realize emptiness. Right? Emptiness is so important. You must remember within the 6 prajna paramitas, the wisdom, prajna paramita wisdom is eyes. Eyes. When you have an eye or eyes, then you can see things. If you don't have an eye, you can feel it, you can smell, you can know something there, but you cannot see the real object. Right? That's why within the 6 prajna paramitas, the wisdom paramita is look like eyes. Remember? And also remember, when the artist almost complete the painting, but he or she haven't completed the eyes. That means you cannot say that the painting is very complete. The eyes so important. So far, we cannot see the truth, the reality. That's why we have a lot of confusion. We have a lot of misunderstandings. Due to confusion, due to misunderstanding, then we have a lot of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. For example, someone stay next to your house or next to your condo. At the beginning, you don't know anything about the person. Then you have a lot of negative thoughts. You have a lot of suspicion, right? Suspicions. You have a lot of suspicious. Then you are not happy with the person, right? When the person talk to you, you don't want to talk. When the person say hello, you don't want to say hello. You just ignore. right? You have a lot of misunderstanding, lot of misunderstanding, lot of ignorance about the person. One day, you realize, oh, the person person is your relative. Your brother or your sister or your nephew or your niece. One day somehow you realize, then the perception is totally changed, right? That means until now we have all the ignorance, misunderstanding. That's why we have a lot of negative thoughts. Therefore, we wish to be happy, but we cannot. We wish to have a lot of happiness. Instead of having happiness, we always have suffering. Your physical sufferings or mental sufferings. I told you many times, for us, very easy to have a physical happiness, healthy physical body, but so difficult to have mental happiness, so difficult to have a healthy mind. If you have a both physical, healthy physical body, your physical body is very healthy, as well as you have a healthy mind, then you have a happy life. We don't have a healthy mind because we have been eating all the negative thoughts. That's why our mind becomes very unhealthy. When we eat wrong food, bad food, what happens? That we have a lot of physical problems. The physical body needs healthy food. The mind also needs healthy food. Like healthy food like compassion, kindness, tolerance, good understanding, passion, all of them is like a healthy food for your healthy mind. Right? Therefore, as a Buddhist, we really believe in great compassion, passion, tolerance, next life. But we never act as a compassionate person. We never act as a very patient person. Therefore, number one, it is so important to know emptiness. Then I will review again, because make sure if you don't know chapter 9, right? Chapter 9, then you won't understand the chapter 10. At the beginning, there's one question, right? Question. So there's two parts. How to determine the philosophical view of emptiness. This has two parts. Number one, the stages of entry into reality. Second, actual determination of reality. So what is the stage of the inter-reality? There's two meaning. Question, nirvana, right? Then nirvana is the reality of, seeks to attain. Then another question, if enter into reality means methods for attaining it, then how do you enter? Right? Stand in the page, the chapter number 9. Here talk about true reality, true emptiness. So I explain more clearly, simple way. It talks about true emptiness. One emptiness which is your attainment, okay, you are at nirvana. You are nirvana. Nirvana. Second, the emptiness, how you can achieve, using the emptiness, how you can achieve the nirvana. Clear? Here, talk about nirvana. According to the Madhyamaka school, the nirvana also emptiness. The methods which is going to achieve nirvana also emptiness. Because when you practice emptiness, you're going to achieve nirvana. Okay? So then I think some of you already have a question. What does mean, nirvana is emptiness? Right? Doesn't make sense for you. Then next, he look at the reality that you seek to attain, the embodiment of the truth is the total extinction of conception of the both. Self, that which is belong to self. Not only that, right? Specifically, by stopping all the various internal and external phenomena from appearing as though their reality is self, which they are not. That means is self along with the latent predisposition of such as false appearance. That means it explains the nirvana. Right now, we have the conceptions. We have two wrong conception about I, and mine. This is my book. When you say, this is my book, book is look like possession. Book is possession, right? That time when you say, this is my book, that time there's a I. This I we call mine, right? There's a true misconception about I and mine. Okay, we believe, in Buddha. Also, we believe Buddha Shakyamuni, he achieved Buddhahood. He become a Buddha. What does it mean someone become Buddha? For example, in Tibet, very historically, Milarepa. Milarepa, we believe he achieved Buddhahood. He achieved, the complete liberation within one lifetime. What does it mean? He stayed in Tibet, he stayed in the mountain, in village side, somewhere, he just stayed in mountain. He did a lot of practice. When he become Buddha, you can see he has a, ordinary physical body. When we look at, he has a physical body there. When Buddha Shakyamuni achieved liberation, when he became Buddha, I think all the local people can see he has a same physical body. Right? That means what really mean achieve Buddhahood? That means look like until now our mind, right? Our mind, emptiness of our mind is actually is they look like very pure piece of white clothes. Very pure piece of white clothes. But it's contaminated with a lot of like colors or lot of dust, lot of stain, lot of so many things. Then when you look at the piece of clothes, you cannot see the clothes is very pure. In the reality, the piece of clothes is very pure, color is white. But so far you cannot see, right? You cannot see the piece of clothes is white because it contaminated by different color, dust, whatever. It's become very unpure. The clothes is become very unpure, but the reality, the nature of the cloth is white, right? Is white. That means our mind, nature, our mind is the emptiness. The nature is very pure, but due to attachment, anger, all due to this mind become very impure. That means when you practice great compassion continuously, then anger going to reduce. Anger, no more there. When you practice non-attachment, then you can see the attachment going to reduce, decrease, finally no more attachment. Right? No more hatred, no more, all affliction has gone. Then when you practice emptiness, the more you practice emptiness, the more reduce you ignorance. Reduce where? Within your mind. Then finally you practice many years, then finally there's no ignorance, no emotions, no the latent predisposition within your mind. Then your mind become very pure, right? Very pure. Then nature of your mind become very pure. This is the nirvana. Nirvana is not the place you can go, right? You cannot. Nirvana is a place you can go. Of course, this day we can go. We have very advanced technology. You can go. We have a lot of money. You can buy very advanced space shelter. You can go and you can come back. Definitely, also look at, we believe in a Buddha land. Also we believe in pure land of Buddha. I mean the Buddha. It doesn't mean there's a land you can go, you can come back. For example, I told many times, Buddha Shakyamuni, when he became Buddha where? In India, in Bihar, under the Buddha tree. So the place is the Buddha land for Buddha Shakyamuni. It's a pure. For us, samsara. For him, pure land. Right? For example, there's two sisters or two brothers live same house, same kitchen, same bath, everything exactly same. They're sharing one like a apartment. Right? Due to mentality, due to way of thinking, one brother is very happy with the apartment, very happy. One brother is not happy at all. What happened? They're sharing the same apartment, sharing same kitchen, sharing same food, but one brother is very happy. One brother is not happy at all. Then the house is pure for one brother, is very impure, look like prison for another brother, same place. Right? That's why nirvana means, when your mind become completely pure, when your nature of your mind become very completely pure, there's a nirvana. That's why here, look at. The reality that you seek to attain is the total extinction of conceptions of both the self and which belong to the self. Not only that, right? Specifically, by stopping all the various internal and external phenomena, when you look at internal phenomena, you can see the internal phenomena appear as though their reality is self. When you look at the external phenomena, also you can see the external phenomena appear their reality is self. Actually, they are not. Not only that, then along with the latent disposition of such as false appearance. If you don't have any more, two conceptions, no more, the wrong appearance, no more the the latent disposition, then you achieve liberation. This one liberation. Then how you can achieve, the liberation which is you going to attain? How? The next, look at. Then you need to contemplate about samsara. Then you need to think, is samsara has a causes or condition or not? Samsara, right? When you need to think the samsara has a causes and condition or not. Then, yes, before you study about the samsara, simply you use, smoke and fire. Smoke, right? Smoke arises from where? Fire. When you see smoke, that means there must be fire. Smoke arises from fire. So in order to stop the smoke, what you need to do? You need to extinguish, right? Extinguish the fire. You wish to stop the smoking, you never, try to, extinguish the fire, but the smoke continuously come. Right? First you study based on the external phenomena, then second you think. If all external phenomena arise from causes and condition, then second internal phenomena like anger, attachment, ignorance, hatred, happy feeling, sad feeling, all is called internal phenomena. Also our physical body is the internal phenomena. Where they come from? Where my attachment come from? Where my anger come from? Then if you study slowly, then you can see, yeah, I have an attachment, my mind is very clinging to the object, right? There's been no your attachment arises from certain, object, beautiful object, attachment, ugly object, anger. Why you have this kind of concept? Some object for you very beautiful, some object is very ugly. Why you have this concept? Same object, as a human being, let's say there's a one man and two, like female are you. One female say, oh, he is beautiful. Other female say, very ugly, by one person. Right? Then there's another person say, oh, both of you is wrong. There's not such as, like a thing you really attach the object. Right? This means one object has a different perception. Right? Perception. Why one object become beautiful one person, same object become ugly for other person? Why? Why? Because who think this is beautiful, he has a certain ignorance. Who think it's not beautiful, he also has a certain ignorance. Right? Then if you really think in the reality level, not just the physical level, if you think the reality in the real level, all human beings, all sentient beings has a just simple life. Simple life, right? But we exaggerate, oh, this is beautiful, this is not, this, all of them. That means, if you study this way, then you can see, yes, I have attachment towards this object. I have a, sense of hatred toward this object, this person. Both of them arise based on ignorance, right? Ignorance. Next, you need to study what does mean ignorance? What does ignorance look like? Then next, you can see here, you will thereby become certain from the depth of your heart that the refining view of the perishing aggregates or ignorance, right? Samsaric existence arises from causes and condition. What are the causes and condition? Karmas, afflictive emotions. Both of them arise from ignorance. Ignorance, right? Ignorance. This means there's two types of ignorance. Refining view of the perishing aggregates. That means ignorance about your aggregates. Ignorant about self. Again, or ignorance acts as the root of the second existence. That means ignorance is the root, is always root. The root always acts as a, main cause to produce emotion, then karma, then samsara. You then need to develop sincere wish to eliminate that. What? Use ignorance. That's mean now you look at, when you're able to eliminate ignorance, then you're able to eliminate the negative thoughts, afflictive emotions. If you're able to eliminate afflictive emotion, then you're able to eliminate karmas. When you're able to eliminate karma, then you're able to eliminate, or you're able to free from samsara. Then you are, fully liberated or enlightened being. Clear? Now look at next, another important next. See that overcoming the refining view of the perishing aggregates depend upon the developing the wisdom that knows that the self as the concept does not exist. Now it's talk two things, ignorance and object of ignorance. Okay, clear? Object and subject. Can you repeat? Object and subject. Subject means who the perceiver, looker. In a simple way, I say looker, looker, right? Perceive and perceiver. You call agent, right? Agent. So when you look at the Buddha Shakyamuni behind me, the Buddha Shakyamuni is the object of your eyes consciousness. Your eyes consciousness see the Buddha, right? That means all minds must have a object because they are subject. Now ignorance is the subject because ignorance is a mind. So now you really need to study very precisely, okay, what is the object of attachment? What is the object of anger? What is the object of compassion? Then what is the object of ignorance? Right? When you generate compassion, when compassion arises your mind, compassion arises toward where? Towards sentient beings. One sentient being or two sentient beings or human being. Compassion always focus on sentient beings. We don't have a compassion towards Buddha. We don't have a compassion towards the external phenomena, the physical things. Compassion always arises towards whom? Sentient beings. Sentient beings. That means compassion is a subject, sentient beings or sentient beings as a object. Right? Then attachment. So if you have a problem with the attachment, then you must know what is the object of attachment. Until you cannot change the object, then you cannot change the attachment. Right? For example, simple example I give you here. You went to, very beautiful place. The place is so nice and there's a lot of menu, food menu, right? When one menu say, wow, it looks so nice, the color, the shape, everything so beautiful, right? I want to eat it. I want to order this one. Then your friend say, no, you should not. This is a poison food. It has a poison, strong poison. Then what happened? The attachment, wish to eat the food is no more there, right? Because it's a poison food. If you eat the poison food, you will get sick. Right? That means in order to change the desire, you must change the object of desire. Right? Unless if you cannot change the object of desire, there's no way you can change attachment. Then this object of attachment is, what is the object of attachment? Can be sentient being, can be the physical object. We have an attachment towards beautiful house, beautiful car, beautiful place. I have a strong attachment towards coffee. This coffee is not sentient being, right? Coffee. Then look at. So what is the object of attachment? Can be the physical object, can be sentient being. Right? Sentient being. Then, if you compare which attachment is more serious, which attachment give you more sufferings, attachment towards the physical object or attachment towards human being or sentient beings, which is more serious? Sentient being. Attachment toward object can change very easily. Also, we can see it's changing. Right? For example, you have a strong attachment with the iPhone. When iPhone break, attachment has finished. but you have very disappointment, but no more attachment. If somebody give you another, broken iPhone, you say, I don't want. But attachment to human being, right? When you have really attached to someone, even though the person has a lot of, accident, break legs, hands, still you attach. You attach until the person dead. Also, you attach after 10 or 20 years after the person dead. You still remember, you're missing. That means attachment towards living beings, attachment towards object. If you compare two of them, attachment towards, like a living being or human being is very serious. That means, what's the object of attachment? Can be two. Beautiful external object or, attractive or beautiful beings. Next, now, what's the object of ignorance? What's the object of ignorance? You cannot say the table, the person. Next to yourself. Look at next here. Next, see the overcoming, refining view of pressing aggregates depends what? Depends upon developing the wisdom. The wisdom, right? That knows what? That the self as thus concept does not exist. Does not exist. You will then see that you have to refute that self. You said that self, okay? That means the best example given by Buddha Shakyamuni, you went someplace. Then there's a magician. The magician produce beautiful person. Let's say, beautiful person. Person is so beautiful, so nice, so attractive. So when you reach to the beautiful place, what you can see? You can see a person. Just person. As a female, you can see the person is a male. As a male, you can see the person is a female. Just see the person. The magician produced one of the attractive, beautiful person in Singapore. Yeah, Marina Basin, just we all go together. We saw the person, wow, right? Right? So we have a very strong clinging, strong attachment, strong desire, right? Then everything arises based on what? The person. Then somehow you study very closely, continuously. So finally you notice the person is the magician, magic, right? Magic person. So before we thought the magic person is real person, is real one, real person. Second, we notice it's just magic, magician, right? Magician, magic person. Can you call magic? Magician person. Illusion person. Then we notice, Then all the attachment, anger, hatred is finished, right? That means now the illusion person look like the self, okay? Actually, the self is there. The illusion person is there. But we perceive the illusion person is as real person. When we think about ourselves, and we think about I, I am happy. When you think about I is there. I is always there. But for us, the I is perceived as a intrinsic existence. I'm not saying, the illusion, person is not there. It's there. Due to our misunderstanding, we perceive, we cling, the illusion person is a real. When you think about yourself, your I is there, but we perceived the I exists as a intrinsic existence. That means you have a ignorant about I. That means, look at, you will then see that you have to refute the self. Because you need to reject, you need to refute that self, because that self is the object of ignorance. Clear? Object of ignorance. So in order, for example, let's say there's another important, nice example according to the ancient time. Ancient time, people built stone men. Stone, we call stone men, right? Certain place they build like stone as a far away you can see, look like this is person. So you never been any place, you never been that that area, but you heard that area there's a ghost. There's a lot of ghosts. You heard the news. You heard the the news. There's a lot of ghosts. Then somehow you are crossing, you are passing the place, night time. Somehow you saw a lot of the stone men. People build a lot of stone. Due to your scary, you can say, oh, there are a lot of ghosts. Right? You are scary, then you're so scared, then you can see all the stone men is moving. Right? Then slowly, you have a misunderstanding the stone man as a real man because of the darkness. So we have a misperception about self and mind because of the ignorance. Then you are so sick the whole night, the lot of ghosts around you. You are so scared, you are crying. Next day, the sunrise. Or you can see, just stone man. Then all scared, sense of cigarette finish. Right? Same thing, the sunrise, like wisdom. When you realize the truth of the I, then there's no more ignorance about I, mind. Then there are no more attachment, then there are no more karma, then there are no more samsara. Right? It's a real. My Dharma friend, we studied together in the Yuddha Tantric College. So before he left from Zanskar, he was, he was monk in the local monastery. So between his village to the monastery, he had to go almost, I think, 4 or 5 kilometers. Somehow, he left little late. He left, late from his house. He also know there's a ghost. When morning, he left from monastery to village. On the place, there's nothing. Very clear, no stone man. Okay? When he come back in the evening, when he passing the place in the evening, he saw there's a stone man. He noticed, must be a stone man. Then he thought, morning there wasn't. There must be ghosts. He was so scared. He almost close to the stone man. Then he just closed his eyes. Doesn't matter, I want to fight. He just destroyed the stone man. What happened? Morning there wasn't stone man. Nobody. During the day, the shipper come with the ship. He just built the stone man. He really thought, now this is ghost, somehow I must fight. He just closed his eyes, he just go close. Then he heard the sound, the rock is the roll. Look at. That means there's a lot of causes of condition to have ignorance. That means the wisdom, right? You will just see that you have to refute that self, because that self is the object of ignorance. Clear? If you're not able to change the self, that self, then ignorance is always there. Always there. Doesn't matter how much you chant, how much you pray, how much you do, purification, nothing is always there. That's why it's so important to refute that self. Okay, that self. I'm not saying self. That self. Be certain in the refutation, relying upon the scriptures. That's why you need to rely on the a particular text which is explain emptiness very precisely, like Heart Sutra, like the fundamental wisdom of by Nagarjuna or other master. Not only that, then you must lines of the reasoning. right? Then you must read lot of text which is explain emptiness. Not only that, you must use the reason, logics. Why you have to read this particular scripture and logics? Because look at here, that contradict, right? Contradict its existence. What existence? Existence of that self. Okay, existence of that self, and prove what? Prove it what? Yeah, prove that self non-existent. Right? That means you read a textbook. The textbook also you must read in order to prove that self is non-existent. Not only that, you must read the text, which is it is the teaching said, things emptiness. That means it's a contradict the existence of the intrinsic existence, right? This is now is very important for us. This is indisable technique for anyone who seeks liberation, right? Liberation. Then I think this next one is okay. Then there's a lot of quotation. The next page number 121, right? Scripture sets forth many arguments refuting the intrinsic existence of limitless number of the individual things. That means we have, limitless. We have a limitless ignorance, right? Why we have a, countless, limitless ignorance? Why? There are all limitless, numberless phenomena. We cannot count how many phenomena there is, right? We cannot. This means we have a billions of ignorance because there are billions of phenomena. Then you cannot go one by one, realize emptiness of the, like a table, books, pen, pencil. You cannot. That's simply what you hear. However, right, intrinsic limitless number of individual things. However, when yogis refer to the practitioner, the students. When yogis initially engage in the practice what? Emptiness. They meditate in a abrupt way, determining the both of self and which belong to the self lacks intrinsic nature. That means all phenomena you can, include into two. What are they? Self and phenomena. Self and phenomena. That's what we call emptiness of the self or being, emptiness of the phenomena. Sometimes, translate emptiness of the person, emptiness of the phenomena. Two things, right? Two things. That means when you try to understand emptiness, either you try to understand emptiness of self or, try to understand emptiness of the phenomena. Phenomena here refer to the five aggregates. For example, statistical mole. We don't care the statistical mole is empty, nature is empty or not. It doesn't make any difference for you. That means you just think how I exist, how I am exist. That means you need to realize emptiness of yourself, emptiness of I, me, mine. Second, the I, person, being, depend on what? Depending on 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates are the basis or kind of foundation of the person, of the being. That means you have 2 types of ignorance, mainly, okay? Of course, we have ignorance of a pen and pencil, but most important, first you try to realize emptiness of the I, as well as the basis of the I. Okay, very good. Somebody said mine, huh? That's why I thought I should explain here. Because still you have a confusion, I know. Not easy to clear, the confusion. Sometimes I say I and my, then I say phenomena. Simply you should say I and phenomena. Okay? I and phenomena. Simply say I. Emptiness of I, emptiness of phenomena. Phenomena just, exclude, right? Exclude the I, the rest of the things, you can say phenomena. Okay? I and phenomena. Being or phenomena. Person and phenomena. 2, right? Clear? How many types of emptiness? Only 2 types. What are they? Emptiness of the person, emptiness of the phenomena, or emptiness of the being, emptiness of the phenomena. Right? Only 2 types. Do you remember the example I gave you? How many types of toilet we have? Toilet. 2 types. Right? Male and female. Right? Ancient time we don't have just 1 toilet. I think so. I tell you a very funny story. Huh? Is it true? Funny too. In my village, I'm from Ladakh. We have only 1 toilet. Very funny thing. Most of the toilet, they build, bit corner, but most toilet they don't have a door. No doors. Okay? No door. Also very interesting culture or tradition. When you are in the toilet, you have to say, you are indicating someone, I'm in toilet, nobody should not come. You have to say, somebody say, A person know, oh, somebody there. Also you are saying, I'm here, should not come anybody. No door.
So the person voice too soft, that's it.
Then, yeah. Then sometimes.
Singapore got 3 types of toilet.
What?
We got handicapped toilet.
Huh? Handicap is ancient toilet, then must be. Ancient toilet. Yeah. Look at 2 types of, right? I make you fun because then you remember the 2 types of person beings based on toilet. Okay, now somebody say my and mine, right? It's so important when say emptiness of the being and emptiness of the phenomena. We just put aside the phenomena. Now we study our being and I and self. Right? Just say, I am going. Say, I am going. Right? I told you, I am going. That time, action is, going is your action. Action. Who is going? I am going. That time there's a thought. The thought or mind thinking, I should go. Action, going is an action. The mind thought I should go. Actually, the person is going. That means 3 things, right? Now here, so difficult to differentiate between the mind and the person. So say, I want to go. There's a thought. You can see, you have a mind which to go. Now you must recognize where's the I. You must recognize where's the I. I want to go. I am not happy. Right? That time, there's a I. Okay, there's a I. Then second say, this is my book. This is my book. This is my house. This is my car. That moment, that time, there's a another types of I. This they call it, belongs to, right? The I and, do you remember? Yeah, I and which belong to the self. Yeah, that means belong to the self. Clear? When you say this is my book, the books belong to whom? Look like I. That means there's a, now within the I, there's a two types. One just simply, I will go, I am not happy, I am a human being, right? There's a one type of I arise. Second, same I is changed. This is my book. That time the book is the possession. Book is the possession. Possessed to whom? I. That's why we call that, this kind of I we call mine. I and mine, or I and me. Two types, all right? That means it's actually is I, but it's the different way to arise. I will go, the I just simply, nothing look like belonging to I. And my book, my car, my house, my friends, that time there's another type of I. Both of you must include into being and I. Clear? Okay, clear? Quite clear, right? I. Why we have to study this one? Because, okay, now another important, I hope you know, now I hope you understood. When I go, there's one type of I, and another I, say, for example, my book, there's another type of I. The I look like book is possessed to the I. Now you can think, you think, we say here many times, you need to refute. You need to refute what? You no need to refute I. You cannot. You cannot. No, you cannot refute I. I is there. It exists. Existent phenomena. You cannot. You cannot reject. You cannot deny. There's no I. I is there. But you need to refute that I. Okay? What you need to refute? That I. Do you need to refute I? No. I must be there. Because I is the basis to experience the suffering, experience the happiness. I is going to next life. The I is coming from the previous life. Is going to next life. The continued I, right? You cannot reject, you cannot refute, you cannot deny I. I is there. That means now you remember I said, the illusion person. You are not refuting, you are not denying the illusion person. Illusion person is there. But you are refuting the illusion person is not real person. You need to reject what? You need to reject the illusion person as a real person. Right? Clear? Clear? What you need to refute? That I.
Person, that illusion.
Yeah. No.
Reject the illusion.
No. Refute that I. Okay, this is the actual meaning. The illusion person is the example. So we cannot say there's no illusion person. You cannot say there's no illusion house. Right? Do you remember here said what example here? In the Lamrim, do you remember the example? Huh? In the Lamrim, what example used? Around here. Huh? No. It's kind of similar meaning with the illusion.
Mirage.
No mirage. Huh? Phantoms? Phantom city, right? Yeah. No, mirage. You just look at Lamrim. Phantom city something. City something. Phantom city, right? Phantom city. Phantom city. The phantom city is there, right? Less illusions, the magic city is there. Magic city is there. We cannot deny. Magic city is there. The magic city is no real city. It's just illusion, right? This is the example. Now, I is there. When you try to understand how the I is exists, for you, the I exists as an intrinsic existence. Right? Intrinsic existence. Okay, easy one. Do you believe this book exists? Yes. Do you believe, do you accept the permanent books exist? No. Book exists, not the permanent book. I exists, not the intrinsic existent I. Clear? Does I exist? Does I exist? Yes, I exist. Does intrinsic existent I exist? No. So the intrinsic existent I is the object of ignorance. You need to reject, you need to refute the intrinsic existent I and self, because these are the object of ignorance. Right? Okay. Then, okay, I think we should have a short break. I think your brain becomes so hot.
Also refuse the permanent intrinsic unitary.
Oh, it's a different. It's a very gross. Intrinsic, unitary, permanent, unitary. It depends. It's very gross. Yeah. Okay, please have a break. Okay, so next we talk a little bit. So next, I think it's quite easy for us, the page number 121, right? The page number 121, within the page that there's a few paragraphs. The first look at scripture of the fourth. This means there's so many things, you cannot go one by one. Everything you can condense right into the two types, emptiness of the being, emptiness of the phenomena. Within the emptiness of the being, I said again, there's two types. One is simply I, for example, there's a I, which is I go, I am not happy. There's one type of I or being. There's another type of I, which is, this is my book. That time the book is possession. Possessed to whom? I, right? I. That means there's two types of being. Then the second paragraph, first, look at both. The Master Buddha Palita says that this is the meaning of the 18th chapter of Nagarjuna, right? So Buddha Palita also explained, use all the logics and reasoning based on what? Based on chapter 18 from the fundamental treatise. Not only that, Master Chandrakirti bases his own commentary on this statement by Buddha Palita. Right? There's not explained. Next, another important question here. Are you not teaching how to enter the reality of the Mahayana? Because in the past just explain, the nirvana, right? Nirvana or the reality of the attainment. So someone asked question, are you not teaching how to enter the reality of the Mahayana? In the case, the reality that one seeks to attain cannot be mere extension of conceptions of both self and the which belong to it. So the nirvana there's a two levels of nirvana. One, the nirvana which is achieved by Buddha, going to achieve by Bodhisattva, right? There's another level of nirvana which is achieved by Arhat, also going to achieve by the hearer and solitary realizer or Hinayana practitioner. There's two types of nirvana. Also, since there's a two question. Question number one, are you not teaching how to enter the reality of the Mahayana? Because in that case, the reality that one seeks to attain cannot be mere extinction of conception of both self and the which belong to it. Also, since a simple determination that both self and the which belong to it lack intrinsic nature does not initially a determination of the objects. As distinct from the person, lacks self, its own wrong pause is up to part of the entering into reality. That means, question number one, someone raised, are you not teaching the reality of the Mahayana? Because the nirvana you are talking only merely is extinction of what? Concession of both self and the belong to it. The second question here, simply determination, both self and the which belong to it lack intrinsic nature does not initially determination of the object. That means he said, if you really, understood, emptiness of the person, there's two types, right? Two types, self and what? Belong to the self. That means actually again, belong to the self means again you're talking about two types of, being, two types of person. One is the I. Once you realize emptiness of the I, emptiness of the mind or me, still you're not going to realize emptiness of the object, which is the emptiness of the phenomena, right? Phenomena. That replies, there's no problem here, for there are two types of total extinction of the conception of both self and which belong to it. There are two types of what? Two types of nirvana. Two types of total extension of conception of both self and belong to it. Even the Hinayanas may have the first steps. Which is first type, which is intention of the self, extinction of conception of both self and belong to the self. That the utter elimination of the affliction so that those afflictions will never recur. Right? That means the Hinayana practitioner can achieve the first types of nirvana. However, the second is Buddha's embodiment of the truth. It is the elimination through the utter non-apprehension of all signs, which are elaboration of external and internal phenomena. So that means when Buddha achieved nirvana, he fully extinction of two types of conception as well as all the, I think the sign of non-appearance, all phenomena. There's two types of nirvana. Second, also, when you know, right, now we already talk about two types of emptiness, emptiness of the being, emptiness of the phenomena. When you know that the self does not exist intrinsically, you also overcome. Please look very carefully. You also overcome what? The conception that the aggregates which are its component exist instantly. That means once you realize, once you know the self, okay, make sure we should not say self. Once you know, when you know that the self does not exist intrinsically, you also overcome the conception that the aggregates which are its component exist intrinsically. Just as when chariot burn, the wheels and such as their parts are also burn. Right? When chariot burn, that means the parts also burn. That's talking about chariot and its parts. Right? Chariot and its parts. They're talking about two types, chariot and chariot parts. It's an example. If something happened for chariot, then must be happen one of the parts. Right? This is the example or analogy. Second, there's two types of conception. Mistaken conception. Mistaken conception about person. Mistaken conception about phenomena. Right? Once you know the person, the being not exists intrinsically, then due to that reason you will overcome another confusion. Confusion about what? Phenomena. Right? That means when you fully understood emptiness of the I, when you fully understood the I is not exist intrinsically, the second you will overcome the confusion about the phenomena, confusion about the five aggregates. Clear? Yes? Okay, no. Generally, when we say external phenomena, except the five aggregate internal phenomena. External, internal, because in Tibetan language we say chi chu, chi mean external, chi mean outer or x. Right? Phenomena like chi mean or nangi chu mean the phenomena not link with the sensation that we consider as a external phenomena. The phenomena which is connected or linked with the sensation that we would call the internal phenomena. For example, five aggregates is internal phenomena. The physical body also internal phenomena because the physical body connected with the sensation. Okay? The house, the table, chair are external because it's not linked or connected with the sensation. Yeah, that's why meaning, right? Now look at, when you know that the self does not exist intrinsically, you also overcome the conception that aggregates which are component, this extra wood exists intrinsically because the person exists. The five aggregates are the component of the being. Just when a chariot is burned, the wheels and such are there that are its parts also burn. Then Chadagirdi writes, The self is inputted. This is quite difficult to understand. Next sentence. If the self does not exist, then next sentence. How could that which belong to the self exist? Look, it always said the. Okay? If the self does not exist, how could that which belong to self exist? That means the I. Now, I give example. The book is exist. The permanent book is non-existent, no exist. If the permanent book is not exist, how the permanent book color shape can be exist? Am I right? The permanent book is no more there, then the permanent book's color shape won't be there because the permanent book is no more there. Right? That means now I hope bit clear for you. Simply, we can use another simple word, the conventional I, the conventional self, ultimate self. Right? The conventional self means the self which is the basis of experience the suffering, experience the happiness, go to next life, coming from previous life, right? That's we call conventional I. But the conventional I exists intrinsically or dependently? Dependently. But for us, appear us as a, exists as a intrinsically. Right? That means we have a misperception about I. That means one I exists which is the conventional I. One I does not exist which is the intrinsic I. Then we have to very clear about which one is the conventional I, which one is the intrinsic I. So we need to refute the intrinsic I. If you're not able to refute intrinsic I, then you never able to overcome from the ignorance. Right? I told you when you have attachment to the object, you must change the object. When you're able to change the object, the color or shape or some thoughts, then slowly you will see the attachment is changing. Right? Make sure if the self does not exist, how could that which belong to the self exist? That means, we also in Tibetan culture, I think we use the frog, right? Fish and frog. Do you believe the frog has a hair? Hair? No, hair. No, right? A rabbit has a horn? No, right? The rabbit horn is not exist. How the rabbit horn shape, color can be exist? Right? Same thing. The intrinsic I is not exist. The how the belonging, right? How could that which belong to the self exist? Could which belong to that self exist? That means the intrinsic I is not exist. Clear? Then I said, this is my book, right? This is my book. That time, for us, we feel the books belong to whom? Belongs to the intrinsic I. Right? Belongs to intrinsic. That means the intrinsic I not exist, then the books which belong to the intrinsic I also no more there. Okay, that means you need to refute the intrinsic I, intrinsic mind, not I and my. Next, I think 你说什么 My hand. Okay. Next, I think page number 122. Yeah, 122. First, this continuously, right? The second paragraph. Thus, Chandrakirti says that when you know that the self lacks intrinsic nature, then you also know that the self's aggregates lack self, right? Self is continuously, right? It previously also said, right? When you know that the self does not exist intrinsically, you also overcome the conception that aggregates which are a component exist intrinsically. And also Chandrakirti says, when you know that the self lack intrinsic nature, right? Self nature, you also know that the self aggregates lack self. That means actually saying, when you realize emptiness of the being, you will realize emptiness of the phenomena. When you realize emptiness of the being, you also realize emptiness of the five aggregates. Because five aggregates are the basis of the being. For example, okay, what is this? This is a cup, right? We say this is a cup, right? This is a cup. Everybody must, everybody accept this is a cup. When we say this is a cup, there's a two things happen. Cup and basis of the cup. Basis. Without basis, you cannot name anything. There must be there. Okay, look at everybody. Look at the cup. This is made of what? Plastic. Made of plastic. So how this thing, how this symbol, this thing, I'm not saying this cup, the thing, the phenomena, that's the simple, how the simple phenomena, how the thing became a cup. How? How it become a cup? That means there are so many parts, right? Many parts, all parts, put together, symbol together, symbol, right? Assemble together, then just give a name. Give a name as a cup. In order to give a name, there must be a basis. That means all the parts are the what? Basis of the cup. Without basis, we cannot name, we cannot label as a cup. Same thing, we say, this is person, this is human, this is cow, this is fish. Generally, yes, overall you can say based on the physical body. Not only physical body, as well as other four aggregates. For example, the dead person. Somebody dead this morning, right? Dead, pass away. You can see whole physical body is there. But we cannot name this is a person. Cannot. Physical body is there. What are missing? Missing the four aggregates. No feeling, no perception, no consciousness. Body is there. That means the five aggregates is the basis. Like all the parts are the basis of the cup. Now you must distinguish here cup and the basis of the cup. Can you? Can you? Really? So where's the cup now? So this is the basis, right? This is the basis, this is the basis, this is everything is basis. Then where's the cup? Where's the cup? Right? We don't understand, right? We don't understand. That's why it is so important. You must differentiate the basis and the cup of the basis. Cup and the basis of the cup. When you study based on the cup, now you study yourself. Me and my basis. My five aggregates are the basis of me and mine. Right? When you try to differentiate the basis and the object, basis and what you call, based on the characteristic, this is not easy. Not easy at all. Understand, differences between basis of the cup and the cup, basis of the person and the person. You must differentiate. Otherwise, we cannot understand emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of the being. Right? Then you never say directly. Look at Chandrakirti says that when you know that the self lacks intrinsic nature, you also know that the self's aggregates lack self. That is to say, the lack intrinsic nature. That means when you know the self lack intrinsic nature, you also know, the aggregates lack intrinsic nature. Now there's a big important argument here. Also, I think somebody raised a question here. I think actually this next paragraph, not in Lamrim, is take from where? Middle way commentary, right? Look at Charvaka, Pratika Buddhas. Do you know? Right, hearer and solitary reside Buddha. Both of them follow the Hinayana path. They're following what? Hinayana tenets. They never say Hinayana paths. They follow the Hinayana tenets. Are inaccurate because they apprehend a essence in things such as a form, such as form. Therefore, they do not know even the selflessness of person. This is because they hold, even important, right? They hold conception of the aggregates, the basis that is designated as the self. This means, the Charvaka, the Pratika Buddha, or the practitioner who follow the Hinayana tenets. We are not saying Hinayana path, Hinayana tenets. How many tenets we have? There are 4 tenets, 4 philosophical school. First 2 school, what we call Hinayana tenets. Last 2 school we call Mahayana tenets. So the practitioner, the person who follow the Hinayana tenets, they don't understand selflessness of person. Because look at, they still think conception of the aggregates, the basis that is designated as a self. Still they think, because they think, 5 aggregates exist substantially. That's why they don't understand emptiness of the 5 aggregates. Therefore, they don't understand emptiness of the being. Okay, it's extra, but not in Lamrim. Next, look at, as long as you conceive of the aggregates, you will conceive of them as I. That means, as long as you have a misperception, okay, as long as you have a misperception about aggregates, that means you will have a misperception about I. Clear? That means when you really don't understand how the 5 aggregates exist, if you really don't know how the 5 aggregates exist intrinsically or exist dependently, if you don't understand how 5 aggregates exist, then you won't understand how the I exists. If you don't understand emptiness of the 5 aggregates, then you don't understand emptiness of the being. Right? Now there's a very important argument here. Thus he says that if you do not know that the aggregates lack intrinsic nature, right? You do not know the semblance of the person. Clear? right? Then, very important question here. That's why we already, gone through here. So it takes very short time. If he is talking about what? Two types of emptiness, right? What are they? Emptiness of the being, emptiness of the aggregates. Look at once more. He says, can you read? That intrinsic nature. You must pause, okay? You must read and also try to understand. If you do not know that the aggregates lack intrinsic nature, you do not know the selflessness of the person. Right? In order to know the selflessness of person, you must know the selflessness of aggregates. That's means he says, right? Also he says, once you understand selflessness of the being, then you will understand selflessness of the phenomena. Also you will overcome the conception of the phenomena, right? Now his question here. If the same awareness that knows that the person lacks intrinsic, then there's a falsity. The true awareness that know that the two types of substance will be the same. Look like, right? Look like. What the question? If the same awareness that knows that the person lacks intrinsic it isn't also then what happened? Then this is falsy, because the true awareness, the know the two types of selflessness will be same. That means, look at, there are two types of emptiness. He said, once you understand selflessness of a being, you will understand the selflessness of the phenomena. Without understanding of selflessness of phenomena, you won't understand selflessness of the being. This look like, understanding of selflessness of phenomena, understanding of selflessness of person, look like same one awareness. Look like. That's why he raised this question. However, now I think the example. However, since object and person are distinct, right? The object mean like the aggregates, and person are different. Okay, different. For example, cup and the basis of the cup are different. Cup is different, object is different, it's not the same. That means person and the phenomena are not same, right? However, since object and person are distinct, the awareness that know that their lack intrinsic are also distinct. That means the person, the object are different, right? If the object and the person are different, then the awareness must be different, right? In the case of the awareness that knows the impermanence of the pot and that of the pillar, right? That means there's a impermanent of the pot, impermanent of the pillar. The impermanent of the pot, impermanent of the pillar are different. That means the awareness which is aware of the impermanence of the pot, aware of the impermanence of the pillar must be different. Same thing, the person, the object are distinct, is different. Then the awareness which is aware emptiness of the person, which is aware emptiness of the phenomena must be different. Then how you can say, so now question, how you can say the person who, knows emptiness of the person, how they know emptiness of the phenomena? Because the two are different. Then look at here. if the awareness then thought of the pillar, if the awareness that know that the person lacks intrinsic, does not know the aggregates lack intrinsic existence, then how can Chandrakirti claim that one will know that the aggregates lack intrinsic existence when one knows the self of the person? Right? There's a very question or important. The replies, I said, it look like there's little problem, translation problem. Reply. Since we do not assert this, what does mean? What does mean? Agree what? Look, he said, since we do not assert this, I will answer your final question. What does mean final question? Actually he's saying, since we do not assert the first, there is two questions. I will answer the second one. Because there is two questions. Say, I'm not assert the first question. I will reply to the second question. It's not the final. Now look at the awareness that knows that the person lack intrinsic, does not think. Okay? Read very clearly. Look at, I will answer your final question. Now look at the awareness that knows that the person lacks intrinsic existence, does not think. That means awareness, okay? Not talking about the person. The awareness, aware what? Aware what? Very good. They aware, they understood the person lack intrinsic existence, but does not think. Does not think what? Does not intrinsically existent. That means, for example, the awareness which is aware emptiness of the person, the awareness, the mind, that man never think the aggregates not exist intrinsically. No. Without, look at, however, without relying on anything else, the very awareness can induce certain knowledge, what? That the aggregates lack intrinsic existence. Now you just, in order to know this, you just page number 1 to 3. Before we finish, we just jump on 1 to 3, first and second, third paragraph. Third, this is how you should understand it. For example, when you reflecting, right? When you reflecting what? That the son of the barren woman does not exist. That every awareness does not think his heirs and such as do not exist. However, the awareness can eliminate any refining thoughts that might imagine that his heir exists. Right? Heir exists. Now there's a one son of the bearer woman. Is exists or not? Does not exist. Then, if the son of the bearer will not exist, then the heir, his heir, whose heir? Son of the bearer heir is not exist. Once you know the son of the bearer not exists, then the heir or head of the son of the bearer woman no exists. Right? But the awareness which is aware, son of the bearer not exists, they never think, same mind. The same mind never think, there's no heir and head. But without relying on something, he will automatically will aware. Now you go back to the the real meaning, thereby eliminating reflection on the intrinsic existence that has been superimposed upon the aggregates. Therefore, Chandrakirti says that when you know that the person lacks intrinsic existence, you also know that the aggregates lack intrinsic existence. Right? Now let's talk about two types of emptiness, two types of awareness. Two types of awareness. Awareness of emptiness of the person, awareness of emptiness of the phenomena. Once you are aware emptiness of the person, you will aware emptiness of the phenomena without relying on other condition. For example, the son of the barren woman, the awareness which is aware, the son of the barren woman no exists. The mind never think, the son of the barren woman air not exists. But without relying on other something, they will aware the hair nose no exists. Now there's an important object here. Objection, right? Objection, very important objection here. There are Buddhist essentialists. That means we have 4 philosophical schools. The first 2 schools, what we call essentialist Buddhist. That means everything exists essentially. That's why we call essentialist. How hold that the person exists as a imputation? They do not accept that the person exists ultimately. Therefore, even they would know that the eyes and the such as lack intrinsic existence. This I think is very difficult to understand because number one, I told you the example. There's a 4 philosophical school, okay? 3 school, 4 of them looking around the elephant. One looking from the in front side, they can see what face. One looking behind, what they can see the tail. 2 looking from side by side. 4 person doesn't have a complete picture of the elephant. Some can see only the trunk, right? Tail or side. They don't have a complete picture. No, that means you can see what school. First school, Vaibhashika. Second school, Sutandika. Third school, Chidamantra. The fourth school, Madhyamaka. Fourth school, right? They don't have a complete picture of elephant. 4. Within the 4, let's say the 4 groups, looking each of them. Within the 4 groups, one person go around the elephant. No, just go around, also go top and down. Yes, they scan all parts of elephant from the side, from the up, from the down. Scan. The person has a complete picture of elephant. That means within the Madhyamaka, there's 2 types, 2 schools. What are they? Suvatan Suva. So you say Suvatantika Pasangika. Within the 2, which is higher? Pasangika. The Pasangika, it look like, scan from every direction. He has a complete image of the picture of the elephant. That's why within the 4 schools, Madhyamaka has a better, understanding of emptiness. Within the Madhyamaka, the Pasangika has a right understanding of emptiness. So we follow whom? We follow after Chandrakirti, Buddha Palita. They follow Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna is the best person who can, explain the meaning of the, Heart Sutra or, Parjana Paramitas. So that's why it is so important to know, four schools. Now within the four schools, first two schools said everything exists. How? Essentially. Then Chiddamandara said nothing exists externally. Yeah. For example, look at it. Very simple. This is cup. What is this? This is book, right? It's not easy. Saying is very easy. You really think, honestly, based on your experience, not easy. What is this? Cup. What is this? This is book. How this become book? How it become cup? Both of them is impermanent phenomena. This also arises from causes and condition. This also arises from causes and condition. Why it is cup? What is book? How you can say this is book, this is not cup? How you can say this is not cup, this is not book? How? Huh? Label we can look at, for example, we can label anything like artificial fruit, artificial meat, artificial glacier. We can name, but they are not real. Right? Now look at the first two school thing. If just manly label, then we can be cow. Cow can be human. We can label. That means they thought it's not just merely label. There must be something from the object side. In order to cup, there must be something uniqueness. In order to be book, there must be something uniqueness. Otherwise, everything become everything. That's why essentially, in order to become a cup, from the object side, there must be something. Let's go. Exists essentially. First two school. Then Chitta Mantara. So they also study how things are exist. From them, everything look like dream, illusion. When you are asleep, when you have a beautiful dream, right? Dream, and that time you feel so happy, right? In the dream, you won the 1 million lottery. So happy, right? When you awake, you feel so upset. I wish the dream is truth, right? That means according to Chitta Mandara school, everything look like dream, illusion. When you awake, nothing there. Everything in your mind. All the dream, just in your mind. When you awake, no more dream. According to Chitta Mandara, everything exists based on your mind. Everything is the projection of your mind. Now, Madhyamaka school, very important. Pasangika and Swatantika. Pasangika, Swatantika. Swatantika go in the half. If merely level, everything can be everything. I told you we have become cow become human. They cannot be only level. They thought cannot be only level. Then he thought it can be exist only from the object side. Cannot be. In Singapore you can say cannot be la. You can say la. They thought half. Little bit from our perception. Little bit from our mind. Little bit from objects. Half. It's nice, right? Something from the object side. Not only from object side, must be from subject side. Cannot be only from subject side, little bit from object side. They call half. Right? That means there's something there, then we name as a cup, book, half. Chitta Mandara said, no, nothing at all from object side. Cannot be, never be something from object side. Merely designation, merely label. Can you believe? It's just merely level. Then how we can say this is Buddha, this is sentient being, this is hell, this is pure land, this is good, this is how we can say? Right? That's why we, everybody, many of you study the Nalanda course. You should not really study as a, like repeat, master says, you just believe, say this is permanent, this is impermanent, this is emptiness. You should not go like this. You really think, you study, you really think yourself. If you really think yourself, then you will know something. Otherwise, what? Do you know when we receive initiation, the master say something, we repeat and repeat. The initiation finish, right? Right? We should not be just do like a repetition. Should not be just repeat what teacher said. You must listen, think very deeply, and you follow. You can follow the Vaibhashika school. You can follow the Sudantika. You got Jita Mantra. You must follow based on your understanding. Otherwise, you say I practice the Mahayana teaching. No bodhicitta. Still, you are not. That's why it is so important. Try to understand based on your experience. Then you have a good understanding. Otherwise, everything look like reading a book, a novel book, right? Novel book, right? For example, look at. I remember one of the book is become very famous. No, English. English first book, then there's a movie, right? Harry Potter. Look at. Somebody wrote the book. Actually, it's no real nothing, right? It become very popular. She make a lot of money. There's a movie, right? Then finally what? There's nothing. So we should not be like this. You should study a thing. So next, definitely we will start, we will do little revision about the page number. Very short. Next time we have a short revision about page number. 122 and 124. Yeah. There's the rejection, objection. We study a little bit about the objection. Then we will start new chapter number 10. Okay, so before we do the dedication prayers, does anybody have any question? I hope today is a bit clear. Yes?
So, sometimes we understand that it's better to negate the self first, emptiness of the self, as the first step, and then afterwards you understand the emptiness of phenomena. Sometimes we understand it's the other way around. You understand you can negate the emptiness of phenomena is also, like for the aggregates, also makes it easier to be able to understand the emptiness of the self. So is there a preferred step first? Yeah.
Actually, there's two orders. Order of how arise of true ignorance. Within the true ignorance, how we can realize two types of emptiness. There's two orders. Order of how arising ignorance, order of how to enter into the true types of emptiness. That's what Chandrakirti said. First, we clinging on intrinsic I. We clinging on the intrinsic I. Then second, we clinging on the intrinsic me or mine. This is how ignorance arises. How we can enter into emptiness. First, you try to understand how I exist. I exists. In order to know how I really exists, first you must know how aggregates, 5 aggregates exist. That means we call, in order to realize emptiness of the I, you must realize emptiness of the aggregates. But for you, not easy when you think about first how I exist. Then second, you will know how the aggregates exist. That's why you said, once you know the self is not exist intrinsically, then you will know aggregates also not exist intrinsically. It looks like in order. But it's how you can enter into 2 types of emptiness. That's one you realize. First you realize emptiness of the phenomena. Second, you must realize emptiness of the being. Yeah. And also you are very true, you are very right, because there's a lot of different view from Indian masters. Somebody say first you must realize emptiness of I, being, then you will realize emptiness of the phenomena. Some master says other way. First you realize emptiness of the phenomena, then you will realize emptiness. First. And also I give you very confusion explanation, I and me. Also within the Indian master, within the Tibetan master has a different point of view. I is just simply, the self. There's 2 types of I say I and mine. Some masters say aggregates, directly aggregate is mine. Some masters say no, aggregate is the possession of the I, possession of the me, not the me. Okay, there's a many different view. So I follow one of the tradition. That means I is just simply say when we feel I will go, I am not happy. That time there's a I appear to us. That time there's a I exists. One type of I. Second, when we say this is my book, the book is the possession. Possessed to look like whom? I. There's another types of I which is connect with the belonging. Both of them you can conduce that put into category of I. General I. Within the general I and mine or me. Yeah. Yes, you too. You are right. There's a different point of view how to engage into emptiness of 2 types of emptiness. It doesn't matter. I think it's very much depend on the person. Somebody is not easy first try to understand how aggregates exist. Then how once you realize emptiness of the aggregates of when you realize emptiness of the 5 aggregates, then you will realize emptiness of the I. Some of you may be more easy to first you try to understand emptiness of the I. Then you will realize emptiness of the being. There's a different test of person. Yeah.
So, Master, what you're saying, this is just a measure to help people who can understand better, either through this, like what you just mentioned, or all.
Yeah.
So better understand faster and more effectively.
No, it depends on, I think, different people has a different, I think, capable.
I know, that's what I meant, the mindset.
Yeah.
Whether how good and how smart and how fast they are.
Yeah.
Based on this different measure. And that's what I meant, that this Indian master, they have different view, but one way or another it helps.
Yeah. It's definitely
It's not right and wrong, it's more like helping those of different, capability of learning.
Yeah, you are right. Also, why there's a different view, because different master has a different capable. Someone first realize emptiness of being, they realize emptiness of the phenomena. Someone realize emptiness of the phenomena. Second, they realize emptiness of the person. So somehow, if we realize emptiness, this is okay. Doesn't matter which one, first way or second.
Come to the square one.
Yeah. So doesn't matter. First we must realize emptiness. Then we have a really, happy New Year. Christmas also New Year for Christian. Yeah. Christmas not important. New Year is very important. New Year. Okay, so please, we can do the dedication prayers.